call the meeting to order at 7:02. And I'm going to ask Mike Rocco to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was a good meeting on the pledge. Strong.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgesses approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 7, 2024, and the special meeting of May 30th, 2024. Each member received copies for review.
I second the motion.
Questions? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgesses approve the monthly reports of June. Each member received copies for review.
Second the motion.
Questions? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so tonight's meeting, I think on the regular agenda is relatively short. We're getting before 8 o'clock.
We have the times on it.
But the executive session won't be really long, but it'll be,
Don't
there's
guesstimate
a
the
lot
time.
of important things to discuss.
2 hours.
And we will be most likely having a special meeting this month. A couple of things that we thought would be together for tonight haven't been completed with legal documents, so we will have a second meeting this month. Just two other things to report. We did receive last week a $5.7 million, I say we, Naugatuck Valley COG, received a $5.7 million grant to study the completion of the trail, the Greenway Trail, along the river from Thomaston to Greenfield. Now, we already have a planning grant for the Maple Street Bridge to Greenfield, but this will supplement that. Also, other parts of the valley, Thomaston coming to Waterbury, and then of course from Naugatuck, from the Pulaski Bridge, connecting on the other side of the river to Platts Mills and the Waterbury Trail. So those are going to be designed, and getting the design grant is usually a precondition to getting the money to actually build it. We received the money from the federal government, a RAISE grant. They're very, very difficult to get, but we had a great application from COG. Danielle, our grant writer, helped with them with that, although they have a great team themselves. So it's a really good thing, and it'll take a while to get done, but very worthwhile efforts, and there's just lots of activity on the trails. And the more they're connected, the better it will be. And I also want to point out that this year we put a lot of effort into upgrading our farmers market. We've gotten quite a few new vendors. Ideal Fish, with all types of cool fish. Ranzino, Barramundi. Does anyone know what Barramundi is? It's Australian sea bass, different from the Mediterranean sea bass. But anyway, we also have, Greasy Knolls Farms. We have bread, another farm. So we have 3 farms, more crafts vendors. So it keeps getting bigger. And as you recall, we spent some money, or we budgeted some money to help, work with them. And we've got a good team down there, and it's, I think it'll continue to grow. And as the green gets nicer, it'll get even better. And I think the objective is to have the best farmers market we can. Like the one I like to pattern it after is the one in New Haven, down by Worcester Street. If you've ever been there, I think that's the type of vibe we're shooting for. So it's going well, everyone should go. The first week we opened, some of our vendors sold out before 10 o'clock. They were all sold out, so it went incredibly well, so I'm happy with that.
The bread was excellent.
Okay,
Excellent.
so I got there, it was all sold out.
I get
We have
there early.
another.
It was Rocky's fault.
We have another girl that was trying to get in who's actually from town.
Yeah,
That does.
I'm aware of that. So they, not up to me,
Yeah,
they have their own internal group.
gotcha.
And they have a manager and, you know, they want to grow it. Most of the more popular vendors prefer only Sunday. And they don't like too much competition in the same categories. So, you know, and then how much effort is someone gonna put in? Are they gonna come every week?
Right,
So it's gonna, you know, the more, the better, and you know, anyone from Naugatuck to me is a good thing, so it's a good point, and we'll just keep getting it better and better every week.
But their criteria seems to be, you've got to make it or grow it. You can't just bring something down to sell.
Correct.
yes.
Yeah, that's true, and that's sort of the general rule of farmers.
It might be a flea market.
Yeah.
All right, so at this time, we will go to public comment. Anyone in the room or on Zoom is welcome to make a public comment. If you're on Zoom, raise your hand, do something to alert our IT director, Jim Kay, and he'll find you.
Hello again. My name is Tina Royal. I am the coordinator for Naugatuck CERT. We would just like to update you as to what we had adventured last month. We did 160 hours of training, and we also visited our senior center, and we're going to be setting up emergency kits for them for the hurricane season, along with they requested to see if we could come up with a CPR class for the seniors that are there. So we're going to try and do that also. This month, we've been invited to the CERT Council meeting. Also, the Citizens Corps Advisory Council, Naugatuck CERT has been invited to. We will be doing Summerfest and fireworks. They can find us at the firehouse, up to, if you're looking at the firehouse, we'll be off to the left. Come and visit. The food pantry that we normally do, which is we do the traffic for, is switched from the event center to the armory. We just wanted to let the town know that that was happening, and we will keep them safe while they're there. We will be doing training for Skywarn, which is a weather class, teaching us how to examine the weather, see what's happening while we're at events, so we can warn people what's going on. Naugatuck CERT will be with John Fields. We'll be hosting a CERT forum for Region 5. It's for CERTs to brainstorm problems and plans, so we can all work together as teams and make our towns better. And I mentioned the CPR class. Harvey is really into pushing things now, that he knows me. We will also be getting out for the town hurricane awareness paperwork, and it has been a request for bear awareness. So we've also just contacted 3 people today to give us statewide bear information. So our town will be ready to handle that issue that's happening I know I have 2 streets up for me, so. That's where we stand right now.
All right, thank you, Tina. Is there any further public comment? All right, last call for public comment. Okay, we will go to item 6 and a report from NAC from Kyle Kelly. Chief Kyle Kelly.
Good evening, everyone. I decided to grace you with my presence tonight. I'm very excited. Very excited.
You were starting to believe you were a computer generator.
I figured.
He was AI.
I was AI.
This is good to know.
Definitely AI. I want to hit on a couple things tonight, and I just want to emphasize a couple things. 3 years ago, about around this time, the mayor, the Burgesses, some of the chiefs in town have been kind of trying to figure out what was going to happen with ambulance service in town. And it was really up in the air. So fast forward from that time to now, today I submitted an application to add a 5th ambulance to Naugatuck Ambulance to help cover our town as well as our surrounding community. So I think that's something for everybody to be excited for and be proud of, to see where we're headed. You can see on the notes that I send to folks every month, our call volume is pretty steady this month, over 450 calls. One of the other things that we're doing that hasn't been done in the history of Naugatuck Ambulance is we are now working to hire our own Naugatuck Ambulance paramedics. They've always been contracted out of town with different services throughout the years. For a very long time, it was camping out of Waterbury. And we're working on doing that in-house. One of the things we're working on is adding a second paramedic during different times of the day throughout the week. So we'll add soon, hopefully, my goal is by August, beginning of August, we'll have an additional paramedic on the rolls 40 hours a week at the very least. Last weekend at the Travelers golf tournament up in Cromwell, we were asked to help Trinity, which isn't uncommon. We've helped them quite frequently in the past. But we staffed for the first time preemptively an ALS paramedic level ambulance to send up there to help with coverage up there should the need arise. So, and something else that I think is really nice, you may have seen all of the flight cards that we had before have gotten rewrapped and relettered and redone and matched the same graphics as the ambulances boasting our guardian great colors. So,
All right, questions for Kyle?
Just want to mention, importantly, our paramedic gets called out of town quite frequently to help other towns. And when minutes count, we need a paramedic in town. So it's really vital to have some type of a program where we have a paramedic there all the time, no matter what.
yeah, that's good.
Dan Hanks?
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but without being in the town, can you tell me about the comment which we
Gretchen and I, our admin supervisor, we took a call, and it took us about 25, almost 30 minutes to get there, lights and sirens. Won't name the town, but the person that was there was relieved to see us and not the town in which the local service would have come from, for whatever reason. But we do. We frequently go out of town, whether it's the ambulance or the paramedic or both. We have our times where we need help also. Beacon Falls is a big help to us. Bethany's been helping. We have those times where we have 6, 7, 8 calls in a clip in a matter of minutes. And no one can cover something like that. But we're doing the best we can and with what we got, and helping and increasing that paramedic coverage is huge. The industry in the area is very low on paramedics, which is why we get called out so much. So we're trying to help our community in Naugatuck as well as the surrounding communities.
Good.
Very good. Thank you for the great job you're doing. Yeah, great.
Thank you, Kyle. All right, Bureau of Naugatuck Development Units. I could speak for hours on this. I'm not going to. I'm just going to say everything is full speed ahead on all projects. And in the interest of time, and my bet that we're going to finish before 8, I'm not gonna make comments, but I will entertain questions from anyone in the room.
It's nice to see they closed the green up.
Excuse me?
It's nice to see that they closed up the green.
Yeah, so that is modern, low impact development, stormwater retention that will help in a lot of ways. And for those of you who don't know, a large portion of the water from the west side of Naugatuck passes through the green. And when we get a lot of rain in a short period of time, it could rain 10 days in a row, it means nothing. But if we get a lot of rain in 45 minutes, the system can't handle it. So this will help with that by retaining a lot of that water. And then, of course, the entire stormwater system is being rerouted. Instead of going through parcel B, it's being rerouted down Old Firehouse Road and Elm Street, and we'll go out to the river at a different location. So everything is on schedule, and you know, issues come up every day on many projects, and we deal with them all day. So any questions on any borough project? We have 14 current projects. Okay. We will now go to the Arts Commission. Francis, you're going to come forward. And why don't you tell us where you guys are in the process?
I sent it to you.
It is.
I just have to.
Do we have copies?
You have it in black and white.
Are they in your packet?
Yeah, we got the black and white.
Okay, black and white.
I left the color ones at home.
I got like 4 color ones.
Yeah, why don't you pass them on?
Are these all the same?
Yes. I have the color one.
This is real.
It's just what, yeah.
Share.
So my name is Francis Santana, 1 New Street. Jeff Urban, he is a co-chair on the Arts Commission. So we got some pictures from the Native American Institute. That's kind of where we left off the last meeting, that we wanted something that reflected the Native Americans that were in this area at that time. So these are the 2 drawings that were sent to the Harvest from the Native American Institute. One is a picture of Native Americans fishing in a river, and then there's another one of a fishing net and a trap. And the artist, RC, decided to utilize that trap. I don't know if you can see it like under the salmon, under the salmon.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Fish trap.
So you got in the back. Okay. Cool, I like it.
Not doing
I like it. Yeah, I'm glad they turned the net around.
Thank you. Yes, we said
And
yes.
again, Francis, that was a recommendation from the Native American Society in
Correct.
Washington?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so let's pass. This is what's represented, which is
It's a little
Harvest fish.
small in scale, obviously, on the picture, but I'm sure once it's transported onto the actual painting, it'll be more distinct. Yeah.
This is really pretty.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you all for all of your input. The artist was very flexible with us to.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
I really liked him on the call that we had with him.
I know, you might have thought I was a pain, but I think this is a much better mural in the end result.
Yeah, we appreciate your input, everyone's input, and we're just looking for the final approval on
So
this.
let me shorten this. Is there anyone who's against it? All right.
Now let's move.
I'll entertain a motion that we adopt edited design number 7 as the final mural design for the intersection of Maple Street and Water Street.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good job.
Thank you.
So I know we corresponded on the discussion with Metro North. Is there any further word on that?
As of this morning, no, they were escalating it, and Chief Collins, he's gonna help us out too. He has some contacts at DOT, so he's forwarded some of that information to his contacts as
Just
well.
remember, it's Metro North, I think, not DOT.
The emails that I have say DOT application.
Well, DOT owns it, but Metro North runs it. And I'm not saying it's one or the other, but in the past,
It's specifically
we
Metro.
had to communicate with Metro North, but they told us that they could get it done, and I knew it would be difficult because they're not always easy to get an answer from. And we'll still go with them but if they can't get it done, you just report back to us, okay?
We'll pay it.
Nice.
All right, thank
Yeah,
you, thank you very much, good work.
Thank
you.
Get to that concert,
I learned this fish traps. So when you go on the river, you don't need a hook anymore, you just use the trap.
No, you leave it there overnight.
Oh,
yeah.
They fill it up, yeah.
People still do that, like, you get bait fish, they'll set them up like ropes and stuff.
You're not cheating?
You get crawfish.
Why don't you watch Alone on TV and
No.
see people surviving in the river?
Seems like it's
Take
cheating.
it at free.
Make it afraid, yeah.
Yeah.
Beaver trap.
That's the wrong piece, wrong piece out of it. Catching the really damage.
Fucking filthy.
We have a rowdy group up here. All right, item 8, item 9. I hereby appoint Smith A. Payne Jr., 1 Van Avenue, as a member of the Naugatuck Housing Authority, filling the unexpired term of Joan Taft, term to expire 10/1/2024. And I'm sure you recall, Smitty is on the finance board, and he's a very personable individual who I think will fit in well up there and work well with the residents. He's a good communicator.
I'm actually a liaison with that, and I think you would be a perfect
Yeah.
fit.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the bid for contract fiscal year 25-B097 for turf maintenance materials to the following vendors as per bid, as recommended by Public Works Director James Stewart. As if read, contract shall commence upon vendor completing all borough requirements and the purchase order is received by the vendor.
Second motion?
Okay, Jim.
This is actually the second time we put this out to bid. Didn't get responses the first time, but these are the 4 companies that are used for turf maintenance in the golf course, Public Works, and Parks and Recreation. So we got what we need now.
All right, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, and before you read the next motion, it's B098. Number 11.
Okay.
Oh,
It's the same number twice.
okay.
Second.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the bid for contract FY 25-B098 for request for proposal for the purchase of hardware, lumber, signs, construction, and maintenance supplies to Able Tool and Equipment LLC, South Windsor, Connecticut, as per bid as recommended by Public Works Director James Stewart. Contract shall commence upon vendor completing all borough requirements and the purchase order is received by the vendor.
Second motion?
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize Mayor Hess to to waive the bid and execute all contracts and related documents required to order a Pierce Enforcer rescue truck for the fire department through the Houston and Galveston Area Council in the amount of $1,336,000. The Firematic Supply Company, East Yaphank, New York, rescue truck to be leased over 10 years as recommended by Deputy Fire Chief Kenneth Hanks.
Second the motion.
All right, Ken, give us the background on this.
The background, this is replacing the current rescue truck, which is a 2001 model. That was bought, last year was a demo, when we bought it in 2001. That vehicle responsible for motor vehicle accidents, has materials incidents, carbon dioxide alarms. It splits duty with the ladder truck, the same crew. The truck is old. It's 23 years old. The average lifespan of the vehicle is 25 years. We're starting to see some corrosion issues on it. Doesn't have modern safety. It's time to replace it. This particular line item was approved in the budget as a capital expense 2 years ago. It took us about a year to write the specs for it, and we're ready to make the purchase. Now, the questions that come up with it, there's 2 issues that we're going to have. One is delivery time, 44 to 48 months.
Wow.
We pulled the trigger today. I asked the vendor why. The whole industry is still backed up. Basically, said Pierce Manufacturing, they produce about 1,200 trucks per year. They have a 4,000 truck backlog. The work is just too much work. What happened with a lot of the ARPA money, cities ordered fire trucks and they went on backlog. Add that to, there's still some supply chain issues, and they had a lot of people that are very skilled craftsmen retired. And it takes years to get people back up to speed. In that area of Wisconsin, if you're a sheet metal worker, you need that kind of skill, where do you want to work? You want to get high-paying jobs, because it doesn't manufacture the show. And that's where we're going to start with that.
When do we start paying?
When you deliver.
On delivery?
The next question, which I am anticipating, is what's the price going to be in 4 years? And the price is the same. With one caveat. What Pierce has done is they understand that prices fluctuate, and it's hard to predict the price 4 years out. What they're using is called the Producer Price Index. It's a manufacturing price index that's produced by the National Bureau of Standards. 14 months before they build the truck, they're going to look at what the price and quality of commodities are for that vehicle. If it's less than 5%, there would be no cost increase to us. If it's greater than 5%, we have 3 options. We can pay that amount over 5%, we can change the specs and take options off, or we can cancel the order. It's only gone over 5% 3 times since this has been tracked. World War II, the oil embargo in the 70s, they're COVID. They don't anticipate it going on. So we're pretty much locked into the price, even though it's 4 years in the future. Allison has already secured the financing. First payment in full we do when the truck is delivered.
So what fiscal year would that be?
We can do math. So 425, we're 25, 425, so it'll be 28, 29.
Right.
What'll happen to the old rescue truck?
We're going to baby it and hope we get 4 more years out of it.
Can you sell it or?
When it comes time, yeah, we'll have it, we'll dispose of it as whatever way we can, maximize the return.
Now, what happens if that, and I hope it doesn't, but what happens if that truck, like, goes out and is gonna cost $40,000, $50,000 to repair
That's a discussion
something?
we'll have to have with the repair shop, with our mechanics, with Allison, and Mayor, as far as how we proceed.
Well, the answer to this, we'll have to repair it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he's getting ahead of it now.
We've already done some repairs to it, there's some corrosion issues underneath.
I remember, yeah.
Godwin's night, one of the repair shops in Watertown actually found a solution for it. It cost us a lot of money to fix some of the
That's
corrosion.
great stuff,
And
right?
they had to actually cut a hole in the floor to let it weld the corrosion out. Our mechanics are very good at preventive maintenance. We get trucks power washed every year, we get undercoated every year. So we're trying to stay ahead of any maintenance issues.
And do you move the equipment over from the old truck to the new, or do you
Yes.
just buy more?
No, we've done that with the past new apparatuses, we just take.
Although some things will be 4 years old, they're,
Yes, but most of our equipment on the trucks, especially the rescue tools, are all modern tools. We don't anticipate replacing that for many years.
Gotcha.
You want to hope in the next couple of years that there'll be people out there looking for a job that will become part of that group to become fabricators.
I've heard that Pierce is actually, now they've been in Wisconsin since the early 1900s, and they're actually looking for a plant in Pennsylvania, just because of the labor pool.
Yeah, I can see it.
And other manufacturers already have.
All right, Other questions for Ken? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgess award the Cedar Street and Water Street project to Priority Landscaping LLC, Brookfield, Connecticut, in the amount of $219,395 plus contingencies, and authorize Mayor Hess to sign all necessary contracts and change orders as recommended by Public Works Director James Stewart.
Second motion.
All right, Jim, let you start off.
So Priority Landscaping is the company to review, is the company that worked on the Church Street North project. That's been completed, and they bid that project. They also bid the Cedar Street and Water Street sidewalk that we were proposing for this fiscal year's sidewalk project. Currently, they're over on Central Avenue, completing last fiscal year's sidewalk project. That should be done in probably a couple of weeks. And then we're hoping to move them over and do the alternate bid from the North Church Street project that they just completed. The town budgeted $250,000 for that additional work. Priority Landscaping reduced their bid items and bid prices to bring the price down. So it's $219,000. The town's going to cover police traffic control costs in addition to that. We should be well under budget.
Right, so Central Avenue is in last year's budget. This is in the current year that started this week. This is at least a large portion of that funding, correct?
Yes. This will get us what we got, what we wanted to get done this year will be covered by this. If we have extra left, then we can.
And we'll also be doing sidewalks on Scott Street through our CIF grant. So it's a pretty decent start to our townwide sidewalk plan. We have a long way to go, but we have to start somewhere.
Is there a design for a Scott Street program?
No,
They're still
Not
working
yet.
on it.
That would be part of the project.
That's pretty narrow.
Yeah, I was concerned about that, especially if I'm not sure, are
Yeah,
they
the
gonna have sidewalks on both
Parking's gonna be an
sides?
issue, yes.
Parking is gonna be a huge issue for those people.
And a lot of other streets as well.
Yeah, so I was just wondering if our sidewalk's gonna be on both sides of the street, which is gonna hinder the parking even
We'll see how
more.
that can happen.
So we're gonna hire a consultant to figure that out, right?
That's our plan.
But you're right, they're valid issues.
And you only look at that now because of all the detours that are going on, and you happen to go on Scott Street a lot more
I was
now.
just gonna say, yeah.
And it's just like,
Or the details.
geez, if they have sidewalks on both sides, you got big problems.
That's real,
Or we eliminate parking on one side.
Of course, park on the sidewalks.
Creates another.
Whatever is gonna happen there, the people are not gonna be happy anyways. That's just the way it is, it's life,
Yeah.
you know, so.
There's a lot of unhappy people out there today.
Some will be happier, not happy, but happier. All right, anything else, Jim?
Nope.
All right, so the money's there. And what about the leftover money? Do we have a plan for that?
Well, once we complete the two projects and we know how much police time there was, then we could move on to parking lights or something like
That's not the
that.
amount of money, different options.
What?
I mean, Park Place is another project we wanted to get to before we start paving the whole downtown, so it's a potential if there's enough money to do that.
Can I ask you a question based on downtown? And I've probably brought this up before, and I know that I'm gonna call it Upper Church Street, looks like a lot of the construction, I'm thinking, is done, which includes the sidewalks. Is there a thought process in paving Church Street in phases per se, especially from the intersection up to, say, the YMCA, where, you know, the crosswalk will be the cutoff point?
I think our plan is in the fall to take it from Division Street at Church Street, where the Fuji Church Street project gonna end. Take that all the way up, water, Cedar, Meadow Court, get everything north done this fall. The only thing we probably won't do is the stamped crosswalks because there is some small construction
Yeah.
traffic to, and then finish that off, but that's the plan.
Yeah, I know, my thing is that portion of church now is
Very
probably,
rough.
it's just a disaster,
Disaster.
especially with the people trying to go to church, and
Yeah.
you don't want the old people falling in the street because of a pothole or whatever. I'm just,
Yeah, that's gonna get a heavier reconstruction, that portion of the road for sure. So, yeah.
thank you.
All right, last call for questions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion of the Board of Maine Burgesses authorize Controller Allison W. Bruce to refund the following tax refunds approved by tax collector Jim Goggin as if read.
Second motion.
All right, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, our second, oh yes, Rocky, let's do the addition to the agenda now.
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgesses add to the agenda a motion authorizing Public Works Director James Stewart to accept a fee in lieu of final payment.
Second motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgesses authorize Public Works Director James Stewart to accept a fee in lieu of final payment from the Connecticut Water Company in the amount of $125,000 to the repaving of Church Street from Rubber Avenue to Division Street, including sidewalks, Park Place, Rubber Avenue from Meadow Street to Old Firehouse Road, and approximately 30 feet on Elm Street. The Connecticut Water Company will be responsible to repair all state roads and sidewalks on state roads.
Second motion.
All right, Jim.
So this hopefully will be one of many utility fee and lieu's for the downtown area that we'll be proposing to you. Hopefully we'll be here in a couple of weeks for another Connecticut Water fee and lieu, and then we've got the gas company and Eversource, Frontier. So-
Possibly Crown Gas.
So hopefully we'll get some good money for paving, which we already have budgeted, so that'll be good.
And where does where do that money go into? What fund does it go into? Because you're talking paving and sidewalks. Is there another fund that this check would actually go to?
There's finance has set up a special fee and lieu account that's used for paving and whatever.
It's in the capital reserve account.
Okay.
Any further questions? Oh, we already did the motion, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Jim?
No, that's it.
Did we have a good day today?
We did
Good.
every day.
All right. At this time, we will go to our second public comment.
Wait, do we have to?
All in favor?
Vote on that?
That's what I said, did we already vote?
We
No, we
don't.
need a motion.
You said yes when I asked.
You asked if we had a motion.
Lies.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's the first mistake of this fiscal year.
First year.
Charlie, you're on top of that
I
thing.
was misinformed.
I think you want to.
Just trying to keep you on time here.
8 o'clock. That's it.
All right, we will now go to our second public comment for anyone in the room or on Zoom. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? All right, second call for public comment. Jim, good?
Good.
Last call for public comment. All right, we will go to Mayor and Burgess comments now. And we will start with Megan Smith.
I've got nothing tonight.
Dorothy?
Nothing for me.
Oh, boy. Well, this past week, we lost a Naugatuck icon in Joan Taft. I had the pleasure of working with her for many years as she was Burgess and mayor. She was a great steward for the borough of Naugatuck, and when she was in office, she worked extremely hard in preserving in what she was doing. So she's going to be missed. She had a hell of a life. The next thing is John Mariano is now the new Naugatuck High basketball coach. John is a neighbor of mine up in the hill, and congratulations to him. I think he's going to do a fantastic job.
Totally agreed on both things. Good report. Well, you go last.
Okay. It's like being at home.
Charlie?
This is a quick question. It's good to have Jeremy here and Jim look to be left. Oh, Jim, there you are. Question about the state properties in town. For example, the property near South Main Street, exit off of Route 8, which they have turned into their own personal junk pile from the work they did there. You know, clean up their mess. Is there a way we can motivate them at all? Is there any like process saying, get down here and clean? Because that's a first impression. You have one chance to make a first impression. People come off that exit and they see the pile of rubble that's still sitting there from the project they did, was it 2 months ago? Was the majority of that project done? And the other area that sticks out is the area around Linden Park. There is a state piece of property between the entrance of Linden and the highway overpass and the residential areas on North Main. They do nothing to maintain it. There are trees that have fallen, the fence is broken there. They have a well-placed sign telling people not to trespass on their property, but they don't maintain it. And the overgrowth is actually starting to grow over the signs in that area. But is there a way we can get the state to come down and do that?
We can certainly call our connections and see what we can do, but I'm gonna send you a link to the state helpline. We try not to do it too much, because they kind of come back at us and say, why didn't you just call us? But if you enter a complaint on that, that goes right to the higher ups, and then they
Please send it, because it drives me nuts. And you know, our walkway is beautiful in Linden, all that fantastic work going on at Linden to make it nice, to make it a high quality park, and then you've got that eyesore that the state left right there, and that could be better. They could be better.
Didn't we call upon them, I don't know, 6 years or so ago to clean up the walkway there, the weeds and everything?
I think we did.
Yeah, the walkway, right, the entrance,
They've got it.
They did eventually respond.
it's impassable right now. A woman, I was trying to go by with a stroller on one of my walks the other day, in that area right where it goes to the Route 8 section, there's so much weeds that she couldn't get her stroller.
They've also gotten worse since 2020. They've taken a few steps back, let's face it. So I think some push from you guys would work too.
Great.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That was it for me.
Mike,
I have no comment.
Julie?
Well, per your conversation with me, we're meeting with the trades union and 7/12, I think is our meeting at 10 o'clock. And we're gonna talk about, besides the high school kids that were involved in the trades program, we're gonna try to see if we can get those that graduated high school. You had somebody in your office.
Yeah.
Started about that.
Did you contact them?
No, I did.
Would you?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
tell them,
Then we're gonna do this.
on behalf
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
If it's
whatever
the
it
one, I
is.
think it is, I'll check.
It is, it's the
Okay.
one you mentioned.
Okay, all right. There was somebody that graduated from our program that's interested in jobs, so we're gonna try to get that going. And then the other thing too, Dorothy attended, Kim attended, and myself, the community conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with Jill Mahoney, and that was excellent.
That actually was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was very good. It was a community conversation. I think Kim might talk a little on that, so I'm gonna leave that to
Oh, I
her.
forgot to call them.
Yeah. So she can do that.
Thank you, Julie.
Yep,
So let's go to Kim, let's go to Kim Gallo.
sitting in that chair.
She's doing her Marcel right now.
Where's that button?
Okay, here I am. I was pressing the space bar and it was making this weird sound, so never mind. Community conversation was a great meeting. And I have to really commend Jill Mahoney, who moves things in a positive direction and moves towards what could action look like. It's more than a conversation. It's a call to action. She did a great job. One of the things that came up in a group in which I participated was how could we make it a little bit more clear to families what kind of activities are going on in the borough? I know it's in a lot of different places. One of the things that the group talked about was that Parent Square is a great source of information, but if your kids aren't in the Naugatuck schools, you don't get that information. So grandparents who are looking for activities or people whose kids have just chosen to go someplace else, they're no longer a part of that. So I realized that you can't just let anybody into Parent Square, but I thought that it might be possible for us to do some sort of an app that the public could clue into and key into that and say, okay, here are the activities that are coming up for kids and for families and community members. And I know, Pete, you have your Cracker Jack um, guys that got involved in the campaign and did videos for you and do your conversations about local businesses. And I don't know what their um, schedule is like, and I don't assign them work, but
Let me,
perhaps
I
we do.
agree, I agree with you. They all have full-time jobs and do stuff on the
Right.
side. What we need would be an app and someone on a regular basis, not full-time, but on a regular basis to put in the information. And, we can, I suppose, have someone on our staff do it.
We have a website creator, yes.
There is a website.
Maybe we can just add a box to check off for like a monthly newsletter that goes to their
No, but the
email.
point is that the website tells you what the activities are,
Yeah.
but not what's coming up every week, every month. Someone has to put that information in.
Gather the information.
And it's gathered.
We can do it for.
There's a lot.
Well,
We
the
can do a
community
little
too, with the
report.
library is doing,
Right.
On the
all the
site
different
now.
groups.
So Kim, why don't you come up with a plan next month? We'll bat it around and we'll see what we can do to make it happen. I like the idea of an app. It's easier said than done, I will say that.
Yeah, and I realize that, which is why I'm careful not to say I don't assign anybody anything. But I would like to have a conversation, and maybe it would make sense to start with a conversation with Jim about what would that look like that would make it safe for IT and not cause him huge headaches, and then where would it make sense to assign that work?
Yeah.
Correct, so
That makes
Jim,
sense, Jim?
Pardon? Say again, Kim?
Does
Go
that
ahead.
make sense, Jim, to start that conversation with you?
Absolutely, yeah. If you actually reach out to me and we'll schedule a time to chat.
I will.
And get a bunch of ideas together and I'll tell you what I'm thinking about already.
Okay. Okay. I think that would be a great idea. Pete, I love that you continue to update about the progress of development. And I just want to say out loud, when you do that, it quells some of the ridiculous statements that are happening in town, rumors that get started, or even at a town meeting in the past month where someone said, well, we don't know if any of this development is even going to ever happen. It was a self-serving statement on the part of someone who wanted to create some distrust. And that's what happens with rumors. So I think that your updates are very important in order to let people know that no, developers aren't walking away, no, projects are not being stopped. We are moving forward. It's not quick, but it's going to happen.
Agreed, there's a lot going on every day. You know, every one of these projects has a lot of moving parts, obstacles, we overcome them, we try and stay on schedule, and we are on schedule, but there's just a lot going on. Only so many hours in the day. What do we do now, Jim? 14 a day?
Wow, so now slow down.
Oh,
a slow.
Only 14 is a slow day.
But yeah, I will do the best I can to keep the public informed. All right, Rocky.
Yes, sir. Well, I just want to say it was heartbreaking to lose Joan. I was proud to call her a friend. I was her treasurer when she ran for mayor, and I'm just glad I got to see her before she passed. And believe me, she was lucid and we had great conversations. The other thing is, in your packet, you've got 2 papers from Vicon. This is a company in New York that I contacted about cameras. I spoke with James Freeman. I told him the software that we use, and he said this is compatible with what we have. It would meet our needs. It has Zoom capabilities, and it pretty much can do everything that we need. The price is $4,021 for a camera. This includes just material and doesn't include installation.
Are these portable cameras?
This would be a permanent camera, but any camera you can move.
Yes.
You unbolt it, you move it. Because that's.
But would there be a fee to them coming out to move it if we found it wasn't in the right location?
Well, they wouldn't come out to move it. These people just provide hardware.
Oh, okay,
So we'd have to find somebody that would install them.
gotcha.
And I don't know where that would come from or who that would be, but we do need to find somebody to install them. I just don't want to make the same mistake we made with Linden. A year later, we have a camera that doesn't work. I want to make sure if we're going to test something, we put in an area we know it's going to work, we know it's going to have power, we know it's going to do what it's supposed to do.
So why don't we do one and check it out?
I think that's a good idea. I do have 2 other companies that are going to send me quotes, but for this price, I think we're right where we should be.
So are you proposing, why don't you come up with a plan and we'll put it on our special meeting?
Okay?
Can I ask Rocky a question?
No.
Rocky, what's the connectivity to that?
What's the connectivity? I'm sure that means something.
How does it broadcast whatever it sees, how do we see it? Is it wired over the internet? Is it wireless? Is it 4G?
It could be either or it could be cell, like a cell.
Okay.
But so I want to make sure where we're going to put it in test, that we put something we know it's going to work and it has everything they need there. So I'll put something together. Maybe in the meantime, I'll get something from the other 2 companies. That's it.
I would just remind everyone, Friday night, summer festival, fireworks, 9:30-ish. They will be shot from Greenfield. Last year, they were shot from the Uniroyal property, but it created some different angles and made certain locations not as good. So we're going back to Greenfield, and I think it's going to be a strong show. I think it's a little bit more than what we had last year, and we expect a great show. Time is it?
7:56. Time for executive session.
Let's go to item 17.
Motion to recess to executive session at 7:56 PM for discussion of the following. Real estate parcels A, B, C, Y, and Z, Naugatuck Industrial Park, Section 3, assignment of cell tower lease at former Alliance's site, 0 Longwood Drive, Riverview Mobile Home Park, Hershey property, collective bargaining, UPSU, MOA Firefighters Union, personnel fire chief, deputy fire chief, and pending litigation.
All right, so hold on. Inviting in, let's invite John Waller, Ken Hanks, Walter Seaman, Ken Hanks for the firefighters contract issue.
Inviting in Ken Hanks and John Waller.
Sorry, Walt.
That's okay.
Second motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, 18.
All right, I reconvene the regular meeting at 9:16 PM. We're coming out of the executive session. We have several motions. I will first entertain a motion Where's the fire thing?
Fire. I don't know, somewhere in the file.
Was it in the folder?
Over to the right. To the left.
Did you give it back to John?
Yeah.
I might have.
John, they took them. Yeah, John
I
took
think
them.
he took everything.
So,
All right.
I'll be 3-year contract. 4-year. 4-year.
All right, so I will entertain a motion that I be authorized to enter into a 4-year contract commencing July 1, 2024 with the fire union as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second. By way of discussion, I'll just start off by saying that as per our normal practice, upon execution of the agreement will become a public document and available for the press or others. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I will also entertain a motion that I be authorized to enter into a purchase and sale agreement of certain assets and a ground lease located at what are you calling it? At,
0 Longwood Drive.
no,
Parcel
280 Elm Street, Naugatuck, Connecticut, as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second motion.
All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Again, this will become a public document upon execution. And I will say, I will also have it reviewed by the borough attorney before I sign. I will also, you could read Longwood Drive.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess is hereby authorized Mayor Hess to sell a vacant parcel of land known as 0 Longwood Drive, Assessor's ID 074-9240, to Pamela Espinoza and Guyler Valdivia for the purchase price of $25,000 and to sign all necessary documents to consummate the sale.
Second motion.
All right, motion and a second. As we discussed, this is a remnant piece of parcel on Longwood Drive. It's irregularly shaped. It adjoins the home of the purchaser. Do we have any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. I will entertain a motion that I be authorized to enter into a memorandum of agreement with Union Local 424-Unit 15 white collar employees in the town hall regarding a stipend and additional duties imposed on one of our finance board employees as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. enter into a waiver of compensation, or that I be authorized to execute a waiver of compensation and appraisal with the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation concerning land located on parcel B that is to be sold by the borough to Connecticut Department of Transportation. Not sold, to be transferred.
So moved.
Do you have that, Nancy?
See?
This is different than number 18 on
Good to know.
here, because nobody's talking.
Nancy?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Okay.
I do.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And now we will go, we're going to slightly modify item 18 on the agenda. We're going to delete the words "a partial acquisition" after Connecticut Department of Transportation. And we're going to add the words "as shown on a right-of-way survey prepared by CONDOT." And we will now go to item 18.
That the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize Mayor and Warren P. Hess to transfer Borough of Naugatuck property to the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation, consisting of a total area of 48,340 square feet plus or minus, along with certain other property rights as required for the construction of the Naugatuck Railroad Station, State Project 304-22-022, as shown on right-of-way survey prepared by CONDOT.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Just by way of discussion, this is the area on parcel B where the State of Connecticut CONDOT will be building our new train station, as well as the new train platform. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I believe we can go to item 21.
Motion to adjourn the meeting at 9:23 p.m.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I need to stay here. What do you want?